This episode of the Nerd Rage Renegades podcast is brought to you by Photor. Photor Web, an online photo editing service free to access, but with premium features and assets.
Nerd Rage Renegades.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Nerd Rage Renegades podcast, now sponsored by Photor.
Yeah, got our first sponsor.
Our first sponsor, huge announcement. I put up on Twitter there's going to be a huge announcement, and yes, we had a huge announcement. We have finally got a sponsor, so this is huge for us. This is really
We never said we were above throwing commercials in it.
Oh,
I was trying to make it sound natural because there's this big clumsy drop in by me in that commercial, but. What can you do? I wanted to make it sound more natural, though, so I thought I'd just throw my idiot ass in there.
And, of course, what Chief's talking about, you'll actually hear that commercial later on in the middle of the show.
Yeah.
Hey,
we always said, hey, the show will be free, but we're gonna plug if we get sponsors.
Yeah.
Don't give a shit.
Fantastic sponsor. A lot to talk about. This episode. There's been so much going on. First and foremost, I think we got to give our eulogy for Margot Kidder. Lois Lane passed away today.
Yeah, heard that. That's that was out of left field. Actually, that's somebody I didn't think of would be on the radar for death.
No, only like 60, maybe 60. What, 63, 65 years old?
69, I think.
60. You know what? No, I'm not going to do that. Respect. I'm going to show respect. I'm not going to.
Same age as Carrie Fisher, I believe.
Yeah, that's really sad. You know, I mean, she was in so many things. Of course, probably best well known for Superman.
Yeah, I think that's who most people around our age think of as Lois Lane as far as live action Superman goes.
I always think of her before Terry Hatcher.
Yeah, I don't think of Terry Hatcher at all. I didn't even watch that show. Lois and Clark, I didn't like it.
Who wants Lex Luthor with hair?
Nobody.
And you know what? You know what that Lex Luthor on Lois and Clark was doing for most of the time? He was complaining because Saul died. He was in Chicago in the Windy City, and Saul is dead. Fuck Saul.
I like my Legion of Doom purple collared shirt Luthor with the weird little pod things on his bandolero belt.
So rest in peace, Margot Kidder. May you be, soaring through the clouds with Christopher Reeve up there in the great beyond. You will be missed. Man, I mean that one. I was just scrolling through Facebook and it's like Margot Kidder died. I'm like, holy crap.
Yeah, I had to go back. I kind of scrolled over it and then I had to go back. I was like, thought it might be one of those hoaxes or some bullshit thing.
Yeah.
But I saw a couple of different sources, like, as soon as I scrolled down somewhere, I was like, oh, I guess she died.
So, rest in peace, Margot Kidder. A lot of things to talk about this week. Let's go ahead and start off with GTA. There has been a little bit, not much GTA over the last week.
I gotta catch up on GTA, man. I'm woefully behind on it. I've missed all of the D&D stuff, which I gotta get into.
Yeah, well, you'll have time to catch up tomorrow. Last week, Djibouti did nothing but God of War. They just played God of War.
Yeah.
Which I'm fine with. I love God of War. I'm playing God of War.
I'm entertained usually by all their playthroughs, but there's GTA's like TV. It's like a soap opera.
Milton has been doing the Ding and the Nort in Conan Exiles. The Ding and the Nort.
I was trying to watch some of that earlier today, and I didn't get very far. But yeah, it looks. Oh man, Bill Ding shows up in a lot of games.
Well, it's Bill Ding, and then he has Lord Eli Thompson. Which, outside of GTA, Eli's not so much of a dick when he's not in GTA. Like, this whole, like, listening to him just interact with Classy and And Milton, he's not a dick.
Well, when he's not a cop, when he's supposed to be a cop, he's on a power trip, and when nobody's going to listen to him if he's not in uniform.
Yeah.
He's like a different character. He's like, fuck off, Eli. You don't run this.
And then there is Classy Packs as Phil Ding. Bill Ding's brother, Phil Ding.
Oh man, they should do that in GTA.
Today they have found a lake that kind of looks like a penis. So they're setting up a castle right at the tip of this lake with a dock that will go out across the tip. And the whole time they're sitting there like Classy's like, yeah, we need to build like this like we need to put on this like protective sheath around the lake. You know, we want to be protected. You know, and Milton's like, yes, where would we put this protective sheath? He's like, well, you would make sure it goes down the sides of the shaft of the river. So that's been going on. They've been playing Conan Exiles. We talked about a little bit about that last week. But I want to talk a little bit about who I am choosing as the streamer of the week this week, and that is, of course, Miss Disbearex, who had a 24-hour stream and put on, in my opinion, one of the best performances in a while in GTA.
I saw about 5 minutes of the one I think you're thinking of. Go ahead, which one?
So she has brought back the character Pennywise. No, it is not the clown. Pennywise is an ace detective. So she's this really kind of almost like naive detective, and she's been hired by Chloe Leaves of Street Dreams to investigate these things that have been going on in the city. Did you know Dan Dorfman was shot? You know who Dan Dorfman is? He was going to do the commercial for Chang and Bill.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. He came in the shop that time.
Yeah, he got shot. So, and they apparently died. So she's investigating all of these, and she's hired Mike Lemonade of Securiserve to protect her. And it's kind of like this love-hate relationship with her and Mike Lemonade. And Disby is on stream going, no, Penny is not going to be in love with Mike Lemonade. It's not going to happen. Quit asking for it. But they find out that they have to go to this house where this family called the Coltons have been staying, and it turns out to be the house that Okie Dokie lived in, where Mike Lemonade murdered Okie Dokie in the basement. So they go to the house, and Mike Lemonade is just freaking out like the whole time, and so he runs off. She takes him to the basement, and he runs off. And because you know the VoIP, you can hear her throughout the whole house. She starts doing Okie's voice, and starts driving Mike Lemonade crazy. It is freaking hilarious because she's basically doing two characters at once right there. She's doing Penny and she's doing Okie, and it is just so fantastic to watch her just like torture Mike Lemonade with Okie. And to hear, it's just great. Disbearex has been a part of some of the best stuff that we've watched. I mean, she's great at Fanny.
Oh yeah, my favorite is Dee Dee of the North.
Princess Dee Dee. I love Okie Dokie. I love Pennywise has become one of my new favorites. I love Pennywise. But with Granny, we've seen Granny do a lot of stuff. I mean, she was with Bayo for a little bit. One of the first people that Jerry Curl interacted with was.
Oh yeah, they're all the old men are always after her. Jerry's always after her, and Bill Ding's always after her.
And Disby's just amazing. To the point that I did it. I subscribed to my second Twitch channel, and that is Disbearex's channel. So I subscribed to Djibouti and now Disby because in my mind she deserves it. So she's so cool to her chat. She's always talking to people. She talks to everybody who subs. She asks them how their day's going. She calls me Nerd Rage because you know the Twitch handles Nerd Rage Renegades, but she's like Nerd Rage, and we'll talk and like in the chat and things like that. So she's really, really awesome. So this week's streamer of the week is Disbearex. That's Disbearex. Go check her out on Twitch. She also does a lot of those like anime like text game, like those those anime games.
Yeah.
So it's always fun to watch her do that. She does a really good anime girl voice. This really cheap.
Yeah, she's been in the VR chat. before doing it. It's pretty dead on.
Oh, it's so dead on. So dead on. So that is the streamer of the week, Miss Disbearex. Something just came across the blotter here, Chief.
Yeah, what's that?
That's pretty interesting. Ron Howard has confirmed that there is going to be a Willow sequel. A sequel to Willow.
I've been hearing that for a long time. I kind of believe that if Ron Howard, that's confirmed that Ron Howard said it, then I tend to believe it a little more. But they've been saying that for years.
Ron Howard, according to this, Ron Howard says it's in development.
In development, maybe. Maybe we'll see that before I'm dead. I used to love that movie, though, when it came out. I saw it in the theater a couple times.
I saw it in theater. I love that. My mom took me there. I don't know if you had them where you were at. Do you remember a store? It was like before Walmart and all that. There was a store called Ames. Do you remember Ames department store?
Kind of, vaguely.
It was like it was kind of like a Kmart, you know. And I just remember it because
there wasn't one regularly around where I was, but I kind of remember the name.
Yeah, it's one of those names you kind of remember, you know, like Montgomery Ward, you know, and things like that. So
it's like even when you say it, I remember it comes back into my brain, like even like the logo of it and everything. But I didn't shop at one regularly.
Yeah, my mom would always take me to one, and it was I remember to this day because looking back at that store was like totally 80s. Because the whole store was like wood paneled, like all the walls were wood paneled. You know, it was like going down into like grandma's like living area. You know, you go into grandma's house and there's like 4 steps that go down to like a carpeted living area and it's just all freaking wood panel. That's what Ames was, and I mean it was like a Kmart. You know, it had its electronic department, the toy department, the shirts, you know, clothes. So my mom took me before the movie and got me the Willow figures. Now Willow didn't have action figures; they had like these little like plastic on metal stand like little figurines. And she bought me like half of them, and then we saw the movie, and then we went back and she bought me the other half. And growing up, we didn't have a lot. I always talk about I had this as a kid. We didn't have a lot of money. I mean, we lived with my grandparents for the first 16 years of my life. But my mom would always make sure that I had like these things that I loved and these things that I wanted. So she got me these Willow figures, and I loved Willow. And I think my mom's always said I've had a thing for redheads. So you know, in that movie, you know, she makes me feel kind of funny, like when we used to climb the ropes in gym class.
I mean, I always thought it was a cool movie.
Yeah,
great
effects for its time.
Well, yeah, when I was a kid, I used to read like a lot of like Fangoria magazine and like fanzines and stuff, and like special effects magazines and stuff. Mm-hmm. So when that movie was coming out, I was pretty well aware of like what it was going to be like, and like I'd read like what it's going to be fantasy with like monsters and shit in it. Yeah. So I was like totally into it, going to see it, and then I just thought it was the greatest. Like, wow, that was cool.
My favorite line is
the trolls were cool. I thought
the trolls were cool. I loved the brownies, and they're like, "Wait, don't I know you? Oh yes, you're the stupid Daikini, the one I stole the baby from while you were taking a pee-pee."
Yeah.
And then he falls. He's like, "Beer." The brownies were my favorite. Are we having a party? Great movie, great. I mean, it was it was a sword and sorcery movie. Now, my question is this though: if we're getting a sequel, are we getting Fat Mad Martigan?
I bet you they're either. I don't know if they won't recast him. They don't think they'll recast him. They can't recast
him. We got to get Fat Mad Martigan. We got to get.
I don't think they'll let him. I think they're going to put him in Fat Camp like they did Harrison Ford for Indiana Jones.
Yeah, got to get him in shape, man. I mean,
there is a sequel to Willow. There's a book. There's a novelization of the sequel to Willow. So I don't know if they're going to follow that or if they're going to do their own thing with it. I haven't heard one way or the other what they're planning to do, what kind of script it is. I've just been hearing rumors of it for years.
Did you know that I mean, it's funny because a lot, Willow, like it had an NES game. Willow had a Nintendo game. I have it, and it's like an RPG. It's like an RPG game. And then they had there was an arcade game of Willow, and it was like a side scroller, shooter game. Willow was huge, but it's like it's one of those forgotten ones.
Warwick Davis like a leading actor. Yeah. It's one of the before he used to wear fur Ewok suits and shit. Well, but he was like his actual face was out on screen.
Didn't Jedi come first and then Willow? I want to say Jedi came first and then
Well,
Willow.
I think that
Like,
was
you-
a